All right, so now we're gonna get to some theatrical releases. The first one being the Lego Movie 2, the second part. So
Yep.
the first one came out in 2014. I saw it. I just checked it out out of curiosity. I was like, okay, but this I never saw something like this before. An
We
actual
saw it
movie
together.
with Legos. Yes, we did. I believe we did. Yeah,
Yeah, we
and
saw this. Yeah.
we were blown away by it.
Yeah.
Especially with the how it just came together with the end,
The
the
climax.
conclusion.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yeah. The
climax,
climax.
sir. That's when it brought it home. It made
Yeah.
sense why a movie like this exists. It made sense why, just the just the reason why this movie exists kind of came
Yeah.
together with the end of that, and I thought it worked.
Yeah, the first one bought Lord and Miller to help with me, with them now. It's like, all right, I get why these guys is the real deal. They really
Yeah,
understand how to make a working application of meta and very, very intelligently.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and I totally understood why, because the whole thing when people was working, everybody was like really cynical about this going in, right? It's like it's
hmm
a fucking like movie, so I mean it's gonna be some, lazy corporate chill movie bullshit though. And
exactly.
no, they,
Emoji movie.
right. But what they decided to do with it is do this like the cultural weight of Lego, why people love Lego the way it is, and then they get into the fundamental philosophical schism amongst Lego users,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
it totally works now in that context. Yeah, and I
yeah.
absolutely love the what they did with that.
Yeah, and
Um,
also what I love too is just how they deconstruct not just pop culture, but blockbuster movies as well. So you
yeah,
have
yeah,
the naive hero, you know what I mean, who has to step up to save the world from
right,
ex bad guy and all that kind of stuff. You have the badass gut chick who maybe this sort of feminist
with
icon and all that kind of stuff. And just flip all these things now. And they just had this non-stop barrage of just humor and just pop culture and references and
yeah,
jokes that just had me in stitches. And I actually have this movie on in my Blu-ray collection. I don't regret it. I wanted to get the Lego Batman movie, which I enjoyed not as much as the Lego movie, although I find that I mean, it was just joke after joke after joke. But it's I don't know. It's not that as far as going back to it, I haven't really gotten back into watching the Lego Batman movie. I really should. But it's just that I think that it just relied too much on meta humor than just
well,
actually
Lego
having like
Batman,
a real solid message that have
right,
emotional weight like the last movie did. Lego Batman movie was just, oh, let's pay homage to Batman, but let's just
right,
have jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes, and that's
right.
it. There's a lot of jokes, but not really that much heart to it.
But
But I still enjoy the movie.
yeah, no, the Lego Batman movie attempted to do the kind of this foundational thing that we'll talk about it with this movie as well. One time, which is this aspect of um, why Batman is a problem and to subvert Batman in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Um,
And this
and
last thing I want to say, there was also the Lego Ninjago movie, which came out the same year as Lego Batman, but I didn't check it out. 'Cause I'm just not familiar with Ninjago. I know Jackie Chan
right,
did a voice fit, but I just didn't bother to see it. That's all. That's really
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. But now we have the Lego Movie 2, the second part. Um, all right, so I'll just run through what it's about quickly, right? So all right, so basically it happens literally like about a second after the end of the first movie, right? When well, as we learn, Finn, as in the human kid, his younger sister Bianca start playing Lego with him now because the dad was all like, well, your sister's growing up, so she should be playing with you now, have that kind of sister brother bond now, you know what I mean? So
right,
as she comes in and has her own variations of Lego characters, they come off as aliens now in the town of Bricksburg, right? Yeah, in the town of
right,
Bricksburg. So this starts immediately from that point now. So it's like this alien attack, basically, right? And of course, our hero Emmett, played by Chris Pratt, um, Lucy, aka Wild Style, shows up, and it's just like them trying to stop the aliens, but to no avail. And then Bricksburg basically become like a Lego version of Mad Max Fury Road, basically. So it becomes this dystopian wasteland, right? And everybody trying to get by. I like that Lucy real trying to be like stoic and badass, and just thinking that, oh well, the world's gonna come to an end, just be
right.
brooding. While Emmett is just like, hey, everything is still awesome even though everything changed, right? So one day they actually the leader of the army, General Sweet Mayhem, shows up, right? And basically says that this queen, I forget her name, I think it's whatever, because she could literally turn into whatever she wants to. She's voiced by
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
Right.
Is having this wedding basically, so she's looking for someone to marry her, and in this case, so to be wee boy Batman, right? Voiced by Will Arnett, right? So so Wild Style and a few other leaders of the the wasteland sent up to this planet, right? Of course, Emmett, trying to be all heroic, goes after them now. He actually creates this spaceship out of his home, so it's like a house, but it's a spaceship, goes after
Right.
them now. And then while he's trying to get into the far reaches of space, there's even this cool, although it kind of catch me off guard, 2001: A Space Odyssey reference, the
Yeah.
Stargate scene. He runs into a more or less, what will you say? This Galaxy Defender, basically. His name is Rex
Right.
Dangerous, right? Who is also voiced by Chris Pratt, who is doing the best Kurt Russell impersonation he could do. And I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty funny as well, because it was like, Chris Pratt, Kurt Russell worked together on Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's like, okay. There was even
Right.
a point where I was like, wait, is that Chris Pratt or is that Kurt Russell? Because
Good.
they sound eerily
Yeah.
similar. Yeah. And of
But
course, well,
the joke was it's a bunch of like all Chris Pratt old roles or popular roles stuff.
yeah, exactly. So he's a cowboy, he's an archaeologist, he's a raptor trader. So if you remember Jurassic World and the sequel,
Yeah.
so it's just like that now. So both of them now banding together to go and save Wildstyle and the other, the other heroes, if you will, from a certain impending doom. I don't want to spoil what it is, but when you see it happen, you'll be like, oh, okay, that was actually clever. That actually caught me by surprise.
Kind of. Right.
And
I thought it was going.
that's what
I
the
thought
movie
it
is
was
about.
going, I thought it was going somewhere else with that, but yeah, it's like all right or whatever.
Yeah. But I want to hear your thoughts on the movie. Honest thoughts on Lego Movie 2.
I would argue is a slightly adapted version of basically the Lego Batman movie. A little same thing, very similar. At least the central theme of what it was
All right.
going for. Thematically, it's roughly the same thing in my opinion.
Right.
And then
Which is
well, it's a kind of loaded term and not a particularly useful term, but yeah, it's a kind of popular concept known as toxic masculinity. Uh,
I know. I know the term. Yeah, yeah.
right. And that's what this one was about. And I get what it was going for. The problem is that you kind of saw it already with the Lego Batman movie, in my opinion. Like, that was kind of the
Okay.
same thing.
Right.
And then a lot of the jokes don't land. Like, for me. Like, I get what it was going for. It have a couple, but just I don't know, it just didn't feel anywhere near as clever as the first film. And yeah, that's about it. I didn't really have that much else to say about it. It just this kind of came and went for me. It's good. I liked it, but I really thought they were going somewhere else with the central idea. Because because I didn't think they would have done that. To me, it felt thematically so similar to Lego Batman.
Okay.
So that's about that. Yeah. So I didn't hate this. It was fine. It have a couple of jokes that do land and is actually genuinely funny. But that's about it. I didn't feel this one all that much.
All right. Well, I agree. Well, unfortunately, I agree with you for the most part. For me, I just counting gripes for now, right? And then I'll jump into the positives. Because there are some positives with this, right?
Yeah.
Gripes, though, I felt that the story just had this sort of scattershot aspect about it. Like, I'm not seeing that
Right.
it has to be the street narrative. I mean, it's meta humor, right? But, when you come in with this alien thing and then you bring in Mad Max Fury Road and you're bringing, oh, we're going to go to this alien planet, it could just feel like you're just jumping from point to point,
Right.
from joke to joke, from setup to setup, from setup. And it just kind of feels like it's just all over the place. Like it just can't settle
Right.
down. You know what I mean? So it's
I'll
almost
say-
like this kid's imagination is literally running wild. I maybe that's the intention, but
Right, no,
in a
so
way, I
there's
don't really think it is as well.
an example of where you have workable intention, but it still don't land particularly well, even though you get what it was going for. So I'll
Yeah.
say the two reasons why the movie really fall apart for me. The first mistake, I think, is Batman. There are too much Batman in this. I get,
and then especially how they bring him into the story as
I
this
know,
central figure is like, well, why really? Could have been
No, here,
anybody else though, but everybody loves Batman. I mean,
right? No, but no,
I do, but still.
no. But why it doesn't? Here's why. Okay, if Lego Batman didn't exist, this would have been stronger, right? Because
Right.
again, you get why it is because of the Batman, or at least a certain section of Batman fandom, and because of the nature of the story, and well, what was going on in terms of well, the quote unquote meta aspect of it, Batman is the perfect candidate for that thing that they wanted to do,
Yes.
right? The quote unquote toxic masculinity thing, right? That
Yes,
at least
yes.
what again, not,
Which
but
the movie really addressed, the Lego Batman
right,
movie perfectly addressed that.
right. So that's why on one end, the Batman thing made sense of them. That is a concept, but the problem is that Lego Batman exists and they already addressed the Lego Batman. So I don't know. It is no land to me. Second thing, the big meta conceit that really put the first film over the top and that was absolutely brilliant. Was way too was addressed too directly and used too much. In this one, so something that was like a big surprise and a big shock and like, oh shit, this is what they're doing with it. That because we already know what it is like from the start, it's like nothing was that interesting in terms of what it was deciding to do. And now here's the thing. I expected that because I know you couldn't really, rewind that, right? That's something that once you do it once, that's it. You can't go back, right? Doing the whole meta premise, right?
Yeah.
However, what I thought they were doing something more interesting with what the subtext of all of that was. Like, I don't know what to call it. Let's call it meta text / subtext. I thought that was going in a much more interesting direction, other than what the first movie told us that where it was going, right? Because the first movie already sold out what that was about. When they introduced that, and you hear the girl and the baby voice, like, all right, well, we know if the second film is about that, then I know what the second film is going to be about. And that's exactly what it was about.
Right.
And so it wasn't surprising at all. And it's not to say that this was a bad idea, however, is that I thought they would have sat down and tried to update that premise a little better. And they could have made it work, but it just didn't land for me as it was.
Right.
But
Right.
it wasn't bad, still fine. And I would have forgiven it a little more if the jokes were better. Like if a lot of those jokes were really, really good and funny. But too many jokes was just kind of come and gone for me. It had one joke. There's one joke in this. Well, I should say two jokes, but there's one joke in this in particular that had me really, really cracking up. Involving the ice cream cone interrupting. That is hilarious.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hilarious. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. And then, it had a famous pop song in it. I thought that was kind of clever. This was like the second Lonely Island album. The first Lonely album, we're making fun of pop and rap music. And then a second one is like, we're still making fun of pop and rap music, but in a slightly different way and not that more interesting. And we kind of already know the joke. So you're not really adding anything to the table.
All right, but I mean, yeah, you are right though. As far as the jokes go, like they were funny though, but I don't know. I just think for me right now because you kind of know what to expect with this series anyway. Because we had I didn't see Ninjago, so can't say if that same sort of meta humor was there. But if you've seen Lego movie, if you see Lego Batman movie, you kind of know what to expect, right? So when the jokes come, it's just like, yeah, that was funny. I know it's funny, but it's just not fresh funny. You know what I mean? It doesn't really come like, oh my God, I didn't expect this. Just like, all right, I come into this movie, I know the kind of humor that we're going to get.
Right.
But I just felt they could have kind of amped the humor just a little bit more, been a little bit more clever,
A big part of humor is the novelty. And once your brain systematize that, it's not going to land for you. Again,
exactly.
There are a couple jokes in this that is very, very funny. Again, for me, that ice cream joke is very funny for me. I thought that was just it just catching me off guard every time they did it, and they did it like 3 or 4 times, and every time it was funny to me. But that's about it. And I get
there's a couple other things I just want to say quick, right? But the animation still solid, still bright and colorful. I mean, this is something that kids will just be in awe of. I mean, it's just such a great looking animated film, right? The characters are still larger than life, still over the top and all that. I mean, and I love the pace of it as well. Even though I did find the second act was a little bumpy, mainly because I wasn't sure where it was going. I think overall that was like the biggest flaw for me. Is just, all right, things are happening, okay, it's not
Batman.
sequelitis as such, but all
Yeah,
right, where are they going with this? And then all of a sudden
yeah,
it's like, well, it's about Batman. Like, all right,
yeah.
what? Why? You know what I mean? Because we know Batman to be this certain type of character, and then something happens with him.
That kind of
Not gonna
makes,
say
yeah,
what, and then it's just like, all right, so this is all. This is the way you're gonna play with it. Okay,
right.
but still, where is it going? And then is when the big twist happened, which admittedly caught me by surprise. Well, actually, no. Actually, I would say
Not really.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, nah,
Not
nah,
really.
nah, nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah. Oh, but then
Like,
how they, but then it happens, and then how they explain it is just like, well, you know what? It kind of don't really matter anyway because
right,
of this certain type of this narrative framing device, basically, because
right.
it don't really make any sense. That's why this thing could happen. But it, for me, it kind of took me out of the film a little bit because you still had to put a little logic into the film. Like, okay, but how this could happen when we know from the first movie this happens? You know what I mean? This thing just come completely out of surprise, out of nowhere. You know, and then it's just like, well, you know, you're not really supposed to question it because when you try to delve into it, you realize it don't really make any sense. It's bullshit. So it's like,
Right.
okay, but still, it
Well,
kind of
no,
don't make any sense though.
yeah, no. Again, in the context of the film, it's clever in its own way. Like I
Yeah,
get
like
what you're doing.
thematically, I
But
get it makes sense, but
the
logically
opening,
though, like logically in the logic of the film, it
right?
still kind of don't work though.
No, no, no. Like, okay, in the once you understand the workable framing of it, it's already admittedly going like, okay, I don't want to spoil anything at all, but well, it's kind of a spoiler in the first film is that this is in the mind of one boy. That's what it is, right? And
Right.
in the context of the film, it's a proxy for his, internal imagination. That's what it is. It's the devil and the angel on the shoulder stuff, right? It's the homunculus of the mind. So none
Right.
of it is too, oh, this can't happen and that's impossible. Because all of it make perfect sense with the fantasy that the boy coming up with in the world. So that's why
All right.
this works in that sense. Again, it to me, it's perfectly logical. I don't really have
Right.
any issues with it in that sense. Oh, this don't make sense and that's bullshit.
Yeah.
No,
But
but the problem is that,
but it's just the thing though is just that there's a moment where it always feels like the dream is done. Like he's everything he kind of pack up everything. Slight
but
spoilers, pack up everything. But still, these things are still happening. So like how though? You know,
no, no, no.
is it because of
It's
the
still,
movie, the story?
yeah, no,
It had a happen in the
it's
story, or because his brain just still working because even though he
right,
pack away
exactly.
his
Likewise,
limbs.
it's the brain working, and of course the sister is that going on too at the same time. Another bad thing. Okay, I like Maya Rudolph, but she was terrible in this.
Yeah, boy.
Like
I
shit,
was like,
they
the
could have
stuff that
dropped.
they give you to do, like
Yeah,
the little side joke, I was like, no,
yeah,
no, she
absolutely.
deserved better
And they
than this
had,
shit. And
again, they had a,
where was Will Ferrell in all of this? Like you hear his
but you
voice,
get
but it's like, oh, yeah,
in the
kids,
background
listen to what your
yelling.
mom is saying. You know what I mean? Like what?
Right.
He could not come in front of the camera for a minute, for a few
Fun, yeah,
seconds.
nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
bro, come on.
Total literal the
His
literal
character in the world of the of in Bricksburg, whatever it is, was barely in the movie as well as
right,
well. So like wait, so why are you in this? Why we hearing your voice? Why are you here
right.
if you want to show your face? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But they do one joke with her, which is a working joke with parents and Lego, which is the whole stepping on Lego stuff. That's a joke because it's
Yeah,
like
and then they did it again. I was like,
right.
it's
That was
just not a
bad.
complaint about
Right.
she pregnant actually in the film. It's like, oh, all this stress and the baby and all that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Right.
all right, just stop it, just stop.
It's a
And then
problem.
Will
Yeah.
Ferrell,
It's
he's like, kids, listen to your mother. I'm like,
right.
where's Will Ferrell in all of this?
But here's
It's
the
almost like
thing.
he didn't care to be in the movie. There, he just contribute a
Here's
few
the thing.
lines and just move on. You know?
What I thought it was gonna be like, because again, when they introduced the ending from the ending of the first film, it's exactly what I thought it was gonna be going forward, right? Because that's
Oh,
what
okay.
I thought it was. It's like, so
Right.
when they did the second film, it's like, oh well, this is exactly what all you guys set up in the first film. It's the same. Oh, I don't want to work, I don't want to do this. I don't want to play with my sister, right?
Right.
And that's exactly what they did, right? And so you have to come around on that. I thought when they did the wedding cake thing, so this is not a spoiler at all. I thought it was that Will Ferrell's character was a single dad and he was remarrying. That's what I thought it was. That was the
Oh,
same.
and it's just how the kids kind of
Right.
reflecting that in the game. Right.
Right. And since he has another big problem too, is because the little boy grew up to now. So he's like a big damn man now. The
Yeah.
guys,
No.
not bother me. So I thought they would have still tried to get a young person and just have it be. They could have shoot around that in some way. So you think the boy, remember, it's supposed to be literally a few seconds after. So it's just a couple months past, maybe, or like a year at most.
Yeah, but remember when Bricksburg turns into the
Right.
wasteland, that's 5 years later.
Right.
Right.
So that is why time passed. Yeah, I get that.
Mhm.
But still,
But still,
I
it is a grown ass boy playing with Legos though. But
yeah,
I
just another
understand that he's playing with the child now. But they could have developed the whole, stop taking this stuff, stop playing with my Legos, you know what I mean? And then it kind of affects the world,
right,
the animated world that we see here. It could have just
right,
been, oh, they were quarreling about something and that affect the world, so they had to kind of make back up. Well, not in a simplistic way like how I described it, but similar to
right.
that now, Yeah,
Yeah.
really have it
I
be about the brother and sister, not so much about, well, whatever he was trying to see with this movie here.
right. Yeah, I can't really say I love this one. Mostly because I'll say it does the joke. The thing is like, oh, Batman kind of did this already. I had to say that. It kind
Yeah.
of did the same thing. It had the same-ish message, in my opinion. So even though Batman is used a lot in this as a framing device for the central conceit, which makes sense because of Batman, and let's admit it, Batman fans are ridiculous. So it makes
Yes.
sense they
Yes.
use Batman as the surrogate for that message now. Because let's admit it, Batman fans are absurd and they constantly just take Batman way too fucking seriously and had to blame Nolan for that, but whatever. And it works in that sense. And I didn't, it works
Yeah.
kind of, but I underwhelmed by it.
And last thing I just want to say before we get to rated, sorry to cut you there.
Yeah.
The music. I get where it's coming from in music. There's one
I
song
watched
called Catchy Song that
right
I actually
song.
like. That's the song that and the song that they use for the end credits. That is what
Right.
those was the two songs I take out from the movie because
They
they're
had
bright, they're funny, they're witty. But you know what?
right,
Of course, I knew they was gonna do the everything's awesome again, and
right.
they flip it to that creative way. I would say
No,
near the
that
end of the
last joke
second
is
act.
very funny. Yeah? That
Sorry.
last joke with no, that last joke involving everything is awesome is very funny. I thought that was a great joke.
Yeah. But I felt though like there's a couple of songs that Tiffany Haddish performed, and I mean, don't get me
Oh
wrong. I
no,
mean, Tiffany Haddish could do no wrong in my eyes, and I get lyrically where she's coming from. Like lyrically, if
yeah,
this is what she's saying, it makes sense and it's kind of funny, but
right,
it just did not really. I don't want to say hit me, but this didn't really grab me as much as the songs that I mentioned before and from
right,
the Lego movie from before now. It just
right,
didn't hit me as much as all that, right? Like they're lyrically they're funny, but it's just like, yeah, okay, right. They
right.
kind of
It
stopped
didn't
the film to tell this joke. Okay, cool,
exactly.
moving on.
Yeah, it undermined the pacing in my opinion.
Yeah,
Yeah, as I said, the thing is, it have a Lonely Island song that exactly is just that same catchy song bit, which is just getting people to do stuff because it sound catchy. Like that's the
right,
joke. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's that they're just making a joke about catchy things is a catchy song, and you're not gonna stop thinking about it and blah 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 blah. Because it's designed to do this, the whole corporate stuff, right? And that's part of the whole
exactly.
joke.
Yeah,
That's about it.
all right,
Rating. I'm gonna give this a high CC. I
okay.
didn't hate this.
Well, that's
Yeah,
why I went to see it, but I mean, okay.
right. Yeah, that's basically it. It's not really worth too much time per se or anything like that. But I didn't. Yeah, this was a kind of a letdown. Yeah, it just they could have sit down with this. I thought the central conceit could have been different and more smarter. I find the central message not that interesting. And it felt frankly a little bit dated, but whatever. That's typical Hollywood stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, as I say, dated. I find that the Man Max stuff was kind of dated though, because
I
I mean,
dated.
goddamn, the movie come out like when 2015 or whatever it is. I know
But I
it's a Warner
yeah,
property. I get the joke is the dystopian wasteland or
right.
whatnot, but it's like, dog, we done praise the hell out of Fury Road. Why we recreated this in 2019
But
though?
that's the joke. The joke is, we making fun of thing and the boy going through that phase in his life, blah 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 blah. Because you notice another thing they did, which I liked, they did the whole name dropping of a movie or something like that.
Ah, yes,
And
yes, 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 with a certain framing device which you would spoil, but yeah.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it.
But rating wise for me, I'll give this a strong 3.5 out of 5, man. It's worth checking out. Kids will love this. This is a family friendly movie. So, yeah, take the kids, with the family, go see it. You all have fun and laugh and stuff. I was laughing, but I was more laughing at, just it being a Lego movie. So you kind of go into laugh. But admittedly, I did not laugh as much or as hard as I expected to. But then again, I kind of went in with expectations low because I heard through the grapevine that, yeah, it's a solid film, but it just could not live up to the original one. And yeah, I totally agree. It's not as great as the first one, but it's serviceable. To me, this kind of reminds me of a Deadpool 2. And just like the rating I gave that, well, my thoughts on it. If this, if there was like a double pack for this, like a combo pack with the first Lego movie, which I already have on Blu-ray, with the second one, I'd easily buy this, right? Or just the collection with this and the Lego Batman movie and the Ninjago. But I wouldn't see myself buying Lego Movie 2 separately. I'd buy it as part of some kind of combo pack. That's the way how I see it. So it complements the first movie, but I wouldn't say it stands out from the first movie. So yeah, but still, if you're a fan of the first movie, if you're a fan of the whole Lego Movie franchise, give it a look. But go in with expectations low, and you'll appreciate. If you're going high, you'll be like, yeah, but whatever. Kind of forget about it.
That comparison to Deadpool 2 is that's pretty much what is happening with this one.
Exactly. I know people kind of came back. Like I remember I had a couple of people that were saying Deadpool 2 was such a great movie, it's one of the best for the year. Last year, like really.
I was
okay, because it did the same thing that the first movie do, but not as clever as the first movie. And the novelty way out, okay, but all right, whatever. Speaking of novelty, now we have to get to Alita Battle Angel. Now, I don't know about you, Ricardo, but I did not get around to reading the novel or the manga or watching the anime or OVA that was apparently was big in the early 90s. I saw a little piece of it, and yeah, it's early 90s anime, if you know that style, right? But I saw the trailer for it. We both saw this first trailer for it. We were kind of weirded out by Alita's eyes. Like, they were cute and all, but it's like just big as fuck. But I understand it's an anime character and all that. And then we were supposed to get December, but then they pushed it back to February. Well, I believe it came out on Valentine's Day in the States. We got it the day before, so I saw it the Saturday before the time I was recording here. But, I wasn't expecting, some kind of groundbreaking Avatar-esque film, even though it is produced by James Cameron, and of course, it's directed by my boy Robert Rodriguez, who, for better or for worse, inspired other people to, take the low-budget approach and make a film, which inspired other people to pretty much make half-assed movies. We're not going to call no names, but, it's Robert Rodriguez, do it. The 10-minute film school, and I can do that too, you know what I mean? But no, the man have raw talent, and he had it ever since he came out with El Mariachi back in 1992. So, Robert Rodriguez, of course, he changed the game, of course, with the still excellent Sin City and the sequel, which I still defend. It's not perfect, but I still defend it. But, just those two names, though, Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron together working on a film, even though it's technically James Cameron producing and co-writing the script for this, which is cool. But just Rodriguez coming back, though, because I haven't seen a movie from him in quite some time. And last thing I'll say, this is the first time he has done these ambitious films. I mean, he did the Spy Kids series, especially that Spy Kids 3D. Basically him dabbling with green screen. Him dabbling with that stuff. You see it with Spy Kids. You see it with that Lava Boy bullshit that I didn't bother to watch. And of course, Sin City as well. So it's like, well, I know he could work his way around green screen stuff. He could put out a decent enough movie, if not great. So before we critique the film, Ricardo, you mind sharing with us the premise for Alita Battle Angel?
Right. So Alita Battle Angel is basically this, future dystopian science fiction cyberpunk
26th century, actually.
Very far in the future, where you have this junkyard and this scientist by name of Ido, I think. Forget his name.
Yeah, Ido. Played by Oscar winner Christoph Waltz.
Waltz, right? Yeah, he finds this basically a girl's head and torso-ish piece of she body inside a junkyard, and you're wondering, well, all right, what's going on? We find her. He decides to take her back home when he wakes. He basically gives her a new body and builds her back. She's a cyborg, but what she has is a human brain inside her. And you find out that you have these two societies effectively. One is called Iron City, and the other is Zalem. And basically, it's just this kind of hierarchy structure, people controlling the world. And you learn that Alita is somebody kind of important because she's this super advanced piece of tech, too advanced for what she should be, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. It's just a little girl. Well, she's a teenage girl, effectively learning experiences and growing up for the first time in this futuristic where everybody decked out with, cyberpunk tech on their body. Yeah, that's about it.
Right.
So I just gonna straight up say it. Yeah, there was a film roughly 10 years ago as well that did the same whole, comic, anime to movie adaptation called Speed Racer.
Yes.
This is basically another Speed Racer. Is this a bad thing or a good thing I'm saying? Well, in this case, good, because I defended Speed Racer back then.
Yes.
Speed Racer did make money, critics hated it, and it's kind of the same thing over with this one.
Yeah, but it just embodied the anime, the source material so much, though. You just have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, and this is the same thing. I thought they kind of nailed it. To a fault, actually. Because it really felt like watching it's like watching a dub anime live action, because the acting in this is so bad.
I was trying to ignore the kind of badly delivered lines, which I'll get into in a bit. But I was like, you know what? Let me just let us slide for a bit and let me just see how things play out,
It felt like a dub. It felt like listening to a English dub of anime. Like, that's how they talk. That's how they was talking. That is how bad it was. There's only two or three, like, all the veteran actors were solid in this. So Christopher Waltz was pretty good in this. I thought he was, again, he had to sell the bullshit, but he was good in this, I thought.
Although I could not, slight spoiler, I could not buy into him holding that big ass weapon.
No, that's such an anime thing, eh? Holy shit.
I'm like, how you moving this thing about like that, Jen, at your age?
Here's the problem. It's such an anime weapon that when you actually think about it, it's so dumb and impractical. Because it's a rocket. And it don't look good on screen at all now. And because anime, because they decided to not spend any of that much money on him doing action, it does look jokey and hokey as hell.
Yeah.
Because all the money went into Alita herself, right? In terms of the action and all the robot cybernetic stuff. But they would never do that like CG stuff for his hammer. So they just had an on-set design, a quick little, animation, probably maybe for the rocket part, but that's about it. Christopher Waltz, Mahershala Ali, I thought was okay in this. I'm gonna
talk about him. But continue.
Just given what when a reveal was going on with him, I was like, all right, cool. And I barely remember that from the anime because I haven't seen this anime in ages.
Okay, so you saw it. All right.
A long time, like when it was not effectively.
Yeah, like I could have swear, like, okay, like for us, we had something called Anime City, right? Way back in the 2000s. So I could have sworn that if I did see that show there, I would have remembered. But for like me, I just can't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I saw it before that, and I don't remember seeing that at Anime City because Anime City was 2000, I think. That's it. But I remember seeing it like at least 97. I had it on VHS.
Okay, I thought you saw it like maybe sci-fi.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days when sci-fi used to show anime. So I thought that's where you saw it.
I don't remember seeing it on sci-fi. I just remember seeing it on VHS. Like I had a VHS copy of it, and I think my cousins and them had VHS copies of it. That was pretty much it.
Good. Okay.
I barely remember because I didn't remember watching it all that much, and it was kind of on the graphic end of things. So I don't think I was allowed to see it too much anyway. Because we didn't know what it was about now. Because again, I think my aunt was, Angel, okay, it's a big mistake, right?
Oh.
I thought it to fault it really replicates an anime, but it really replicates a dubbed anime. In terms of the style and the narrative and in terms of the storytelling, because look, a lot of animes have a lot of cool ideas, but they're not particularly good stories. In the case of Alita, a solid enough story, but it's not so much to say, wait, this is so absolutely brilliant. But at the time, that cyberpunk stuff was like gangbusters for people.
Of course,
real sell, and that was selling like and there's such a it's so imaginative and so brilliant and thing. No, yeah, a little dated. I
Yeah.
was worried that this was going to be another Ghost in the Shell situation. It's not. This is
It's
definitely
not. Even though I still kind of defend Ghosty Shell, I see what they were going for. It's just
right,
that a little too late. Like this is something that they could have done years ago, one, and they could
right,
have put a little bit more forethought into it too, instead of
right,
trying to replicate every single thing that we remember and love in the movie. You know what I mean? But
right,
I still
right,
defend Ghosty Shell for what it was. You know,
right.
step
Okay.
in the right
Um,
direction, kind of.
But with this again, you had to just kind of treat it for its own work. I was going to sit down and nitpick it and say, oh well, the logic of this don't make sense, and why would anybody want to replace body parts with this? And I was like, all right, just accept it for what it is. And much like with Speed Racer, it was its own world. There's a sort of crazy bullshit instead of like this reality. You accept it for its own rules, and once you accept it for its own rules, it works for the most part. Um, but yeah, I'll have to straight up say the acting in this is so bad by almost everyone, in my opinion. As like in terms of acting, Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly was okay. Mahershala Ali was okay. This was this boy Jackie Earle Haley he was I thought he was actually pretty good. For what they did with it, right?
Yes,
Especially with
yes,
him,
yes.
but with all of
Being
that,
this big cyborg basically.
right?
What you thought about we boy Ed Screen, right?
Yeah, he was kind of bad in this. And then I'll say by far the worst actor was Hugo. Hugo was terrible in this. Holy shit! I don't know the actor name.
Oh yeah, I think he's a new guy, Kean
Yeah,
Johnson. But yeah,
right.
boy, I get what he's trying to do, but you just don't buy into it. Him falling in love with Alita, even though it's
Yeah,
like, yo, you have robotic arms and stuff like that. But you know, it's something about them eyes, girls. It's something about them eyes. Clearly,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
something about the girl eyes. Right? That's how he fall in love. But I just didn't buy
Right.
into it.
Yeah, it didn't work at all. And then the little side actors was pretty bad in this. Michelle Rodriguez, all these little side. It had a bunch of little cameos that was kind of cool in it. It's like, oh, you in this, son, you in this. All right, nice.
Jai Courtney was in this. Like,
Jack,
holy shit,
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah,
thank
Michelle
goodness they
Rodriguez.
didn't give him any more screen time. This give him like a little seat.
Right.
Like, okay, cool, nice.
Was the actor with the dogs again? He looked familiar. He's another, I think, a
Uh,
Roger Cable.
Jeff Fahey,
Yeah, right, Jeffrey. Right. He was the pilot in thing, right? If I remember
and
correctly,
Lost.
in
Yeah,
Lost, I think. Yeah,
here's the
right.
thing.
Yeah,
He's the kind of person like you know his face, but it's like the name. But like I was watching his face, like
yeah.
dude, I know you, Dread. It's like
It
from where
was
again?
taken
I just can't remember.
That's
Yeah,
um,
but just to jump in for a bit, right? Oh yes, and he was also in Machete. How can I forget that? I actually love
right.
Machete. Yeah, this dumb
Right.
guilty pleasure badass trip.
I thought we boy would make a cameo in this. What do you call him?
Who
You know, Machete.
not Tommy Chong.
No,
Yeah, Cheech Marin. Yeah, I was looking out for Cheech Marin. I was like,
not
yo,
Machete himself.
Danny Trejo. Yeah,
And,
boy.
yeah, I thought
He
he would
could
make a
have,
little
yeah,
partner.
he could have been one of the bounty hunters now because
Yeah,
yeah, there's a
yeah,
subplot involving bounty hunting and stuff like that, right?
right,
Which of course Anita joins so she could do what she had to do.
right.
But here's the thing, right? Well, let me just jump in, right? Um, I thought that as far as acting go, I thought you would have talk about Rosa Salazar, by who plays Alita herself. Here's the
She
thing.
was kind of okay. She was hit and miss for me. She had
Yeah.
moments I like. She
Like
had
like
moments
when
I like.
like when she gets emotional, she could do it. But I find like
Right.
early on and in certain parts of the film when she talking, it just
Yeah.
didn't sound right. But in my head I tell
Yeah.
myself, right, she's a cyborg, so she kinda trying to
Right.
talk like
Right.
humans. So it didn't
Right.
come
Right.
out well, but still it just felt a little off, you know what I mean?
No,
But
that's right.
I
You know
blame it. I blame it on the director. Maybe the director told her to see it like that. You know what I mean? But other than that,
yeah.
it just kind of sounded weird when she would talk and
Right.
see things now.
Yeah. That's basically what I was thinking as well. Again, I give it a chance that she's not fully human or she's not fully quote unquote cognitively aware of everything. So she could be kind of a little off in terms of she talking and speaking. But then at other times she was like, oh, she actually sounded like a normal person here. So what's the problem? Um,
Yeah, I don't understand that. They really could have just figured that out.
right.
As far as acting goes for me, like all right, the cast is there, right? They do what they had to do, right? But I find that they underutilize Jennifer Connelly.
Right.
Like she's just supposed to be Christoph Waltz ex-wife, but like
Right.
she's supposed to be one of the villains, but it's like all right, you're kind of doing this thing to spite him because of what happened in the past, which I'm not going to reveal, or you're just
Right.
doing this because you really feel that this needs to be done. This is for the greater good.
Well,
They could have just established that a lot better.
right. Well, they kind of explain it with the whole Zalem thing. So it's like because you have a reason, you have ways to quote unquote get back into Zalem, because that's a big thing in the storyline where people is either leave Zalem or get exiled from Zalem. But it wasn't particularly clear. And from what I understand, they mix up a bunch of like stories on from the manga and the anime, which is a typical mistake in these
Yeah. Why am I not surprised by this? Yeah.
yeah, there's where there's mix up a bunch of plot lines instead of like focusing on a single plot line and just making a movie version of that single arc. What they'll do is they'll hodgepodge a bunch of arcs together into one story, right? And which is a big mistake. Every one of them things I take a big problem with plenty of these anime live action adaptation movies. And this one we kind of make the same mistake from what I understand. Because from what I understand, if I remember correctly, the motorball stuff shouldn't have been in this at all.
Yeah, I actually saw it in another review, a YouTube review of it, that this was in another chapter of the manga and stuff. Like this had to do with the origin story of Alita, you know?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, what else? I felt they utilized Mahershala Ali as well. Like at first when they threw the thing that, well, that he's not who he's not who he appears to be, right? That's all we'll say, right? There's something bigger going on. I was like, all right, okay, so now, all right, I guess I should actually kind of care for him. He's not doing.
Right.
Somebody's pretty much kind of controlling the scene for him, though, right? Cool, but honestly, I just felt that he was just there because he just have that medicine look. There, he put the shades, he have the sort of Wesley Snipes blade look. There's even a point when I was watching film, I was like, if he was just a tad bit younger, or maybe he was just not in the Oscar race, he could have been a blade, Could have been a blade. Just all the shades and just the look and the voice that he had. He could have been a blade. Like watch it. Right. Could be blade. You know what I mean?
the thing is in the storyline, yeah, he seems as this big important character, but he's really quite disposable, and we understand that. We saw how that played itself out. I don't have a big problem with that.
That kind of disappointed me though, because once you understand that there's a bigger character, once you learn that there's a bigger character involved, and then how they kind of end his arc is just like, well, what was the point of having you there? No, you know what I mean? You didn't really do much except look threatening, you know what I mean? But that was it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. The side characters, I thought were pretty good. Like, I actually bought Ed Screen being this sort of pseudo badass wannabe gangster kind of bounty hunter. Him kind of snarling and like, yeah, you can't top me. I love his sword. I thought his sword was badass, and the sort of Mayan sort of thing that he, the design that he had in his back, I thought was freaking awesome. I love that. The character design as well, though, I was really impressed by, especially Jackie Earle Haley's character, this big cyborg character. But it didn't look like this head that they just slap onto this random generic body. It looks like it really does fit this.
Well, they spend their money. It looked great, I thought.
Well, that's what I was about to say, though. This is like, say what you want about the plot, which I'll get into. But this is just from a visual perspective, this is near perfect. This is one of the most ambitious attempts, I would say, in terms of just taking a manga and bringing this to life. Though, like every shot, you could tell a lot of detail and attention and care was put into this. Though there was no half-assing when it came to the visuals for this. Though I see it in particular with the character of Alita. Say what you want about the eyes, though, but the design of her, just looking at her skin, like on the when you like close-ups of her face, though, it looks photorealistic. You know what I mean? I love that. The set design, just the design of the city, I bought into it. It felt real. It felt organic.
Yeah.
Kind of like stuff you've seen before, like a couple of shots where it's like, yeah, this kind of looked like the Wakanda city scene, like in Black Panther, but it felt organic. It felt real. Even though they didn't show the Sky City, and instantly when they brought in that, I was like, Elysium, anyone? You know what I mean? But a little bit. But other than that, though, everything felt real. The motorball stuff. In my head, I was like, but this is like rollerball, though. You know what I mean? Kids act parents, right? But
the way how they
with cyborgs. Yeah, with cyborgs. But those scenes, I'd admit, it's pretty fucking badass though. Especially when they bring Alita into it though, I was like, okay, this is like hands down the best scene in this movie though, where she just like laying down cyborg after cyborg. And
Yeah.
another thing I just want to mention, the fight scenes in this though, kick ass. You know what I mean? Gil can kick ass. Like seriously, do not fuck with Alita, Jen. And there's numerous moments where people try and think it's just like, nah, Jen, you can't stop me, Jen. So you know the action scenes were on point though, even though I admit there's a couple of moments where it's like, yeah, but like Alita seems to be like unstoppable. Like nobody could stop her at all, Jared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it still worked in terms of what they were going for with the character. You know, just her becoming this badass warrior, right? And I dug into that. So the character I really did appreciate is just the voice, though. Kind of, I was kind of on the fence with it, you know. But I'll blame that on the director. You know, maybe the director wanted Rose Salazar to talk that way, but you know, it still kind of took me out a bit. The music, Junkie excelled in the music for this. I thought it worked.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
what else? But really, the thing that kind of brought it down for me though was the story. Like I understand what they were trying to do, but they were like I guess is the problem with adaptation anyway, right? Where you want to have these certain moments, you want to have these things that people love about the show, right? But at the same time, you kind of doing this to the detriment of the actual story. So yes, there are moments where it's like, all right, I don't get this, I don't understand this. But maybe if I watch it again, I'll understand. Or later on, they'll kind of go into detail and explain that. And most times they do, other times they don't, especially with certain characters. Uh, and I felt personally like the last act, while I get what they were going for thematically and emotionally, it felt a bit rushed, a bit
Yeah.
rushed.
Yeah.
And when you finally see who the real bad guy is, it's just like, okay, so you're really wanna hit it, all you're really, all they're real serious about this thing, all they think all they gotta get a sequel, boy. And then when the movie ended, but I was just like, I really think personally it needs a sequel, not just because the
Yeah.
story has to continue, but because you could tell these people do this thing. Well, I should say Rodriguez, you know, Cameron, his, you know, their teams really put, and Weta, of course, shout out to Weta Digital. They just blew me away with their visuals, but you know, top notch visuals here. But you could tell there was a lot of love that went into this film, a lot of money too.
Yeah.
But deep down, I was like, I just really wish we get a sequel so that they could, you know, further explore this world. And by the way, the world
Right.
building, love the world building this, right? But it needs a sequel just to continue this story, just to see where this character goes. You know, I don't just say that
Yeah.
because certain narrative threads would tie it up, but still because of the effort that put into it, though, you know, the least they could do is have a sequel just to continue the story. But I don't know where. I just fear like you know stuff like Speed Racer and Ghost in Shell, it's gonna flop because it
No
just had
flop. Yeah.
you know, it just had a huge budget, and people are just gonna look at it and gonna read reviews and realize that, oh, it's not really that great anyway, and you know,
Right.
forget about it, right? And yeah, it's not gonna make a ton of money, Jen, and it's a shame. So you know, the term flop is gonna be added to this film, and people are gonna think now, oh, well, I'm not gonna watch Alita. This is shit because you know flop movies are
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? But no, you know, it's just unfortunate though. It's really unfortunate. But I do see this being like a cult classic of sorts in the near future.
I
I
think so
know a
too.
ton of
Yeah.
anime fans gonna praise this movie,
Yeah.
and I myself praise the ambition. This is a very, very ambitious film, though, and I would love to see more Hollywood movies really adapt anime films and really anime stories and give them justice and really do them justice and not half-ass them like
Right.
see a Dragon Ball evolution or whatever it is, right? But it's just unfortunate though, with all the effort and money that they put into this, they're not gonna make it back in the box office though. You know, it's just a shame. But this, I guess, this is just the paradigm of you know just Hollywood today. You know what I mean? Like you know, ambition doesn't equal you know a box office success. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Blade Runner 2049, right? My favorite movie of 2017, but that was a flop, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. Any last words you want to say about Alita
Yeah.
before we get to it?
As I say, when I say that it's basically it feels like Blade Runner all over again. Yeah, that's pretty much what. Sorry, not Blade Runner. Speed
Speed
Racer.
Racer.
Speed Racer. Yeah. Um, you know, yeah, that's for good or for ill. That is exactly what's going to play out here because I understand the box office not looking too hot for this, right?
Yeah,
You
and even more ironic is that well, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, which we reviewed, it well, it's gonna be coming out. Well, I think it came
right,
out the time it's recorded, and yeah, that shit gonna be number one. It's gonna beat this
right,
movie, right? Psh.
right.
So look at that.
So yeah, this one, another one on the pile. It just don't translate particularly well. Um, Sadly, and it doesn't finish. It doesn't finish to major audiences in a significant way, unfortunately. That's about it.
Yeah,
Um,
but what I was just saying last thing though,
I just give him a
unlike
reason, yeah.
Ghost in the Shell, however, I think this one has more longevity in terms of just anime fans, making the argument that yes, we could actually make real legit Hollywood movies based off our favorite anime. I'm gonna point Alita out. They're gonna really point this movie out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yes. So I don't know. For me, I just hope that at least more people would be scared of the box office and like directors that would be scared of the box office and not want to attempt to adapt a great anime, but just be mindful of what anime you're pick to. Because I heard through the grapevine supposed to get like a One Piece movie and like
oh,
no
that's a
Trent.
tough.
Just because people love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies don't mean we
Nah,
want to see One
I
Piece,
go.
Trent. One
I
Piece
go.
is one of the most beloved anime series ever, and I am not even a fan of that show. But
Yeah,
goddamn, please do adapt One Piece. Please do it.
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
what is your rating for Alita Battle Angel?
Um, I get this one. I get this one a low movie tone. Because it loses a lot of. It just a lot of it falls flat and unfortunately doesn't really work. And because I'm not a fan of the material in a workable way, um, I just can get into it as much. But again, in terms of adaptation, it's really well done. Again, much like with Speed Racer. Um, but Speed Racer was fun and upbeat. That is why I enjoyed that so much. This one, takes its narrative very seriously. So
Oh
I was
boy,
like,
it
all
does.
right,
Yeah, it
yeah.
does.
I
Yeah,
couldn't get this. So, but again, where it works, it really, really works, which is the special effects. Special effects was brilliant, absolutely
yeah,
brilliant. In fact,
yeah.
I could see it.
And I would dare say Oscar worthy though. I was
Yeah,
worried about the release date of this because I can't remember when Ready Player One came out last year, but hey, Ready Player
right,
One got nominated for Best
right,
Visual Effects.
exactly,
I couldn't help but
right.
think of Ready Player One while I was watching this movie here.
Yeah, yeah. Sadly, that is unfortunate. That is the take on it. I couldn't really do more than this, so that's it.
Yeah, well, for me, I would give this a very, very strong 3.5 out of 5. It is worth checking out, though. If you could see it in IMAX, if you're willing to spend the bucks, go see it there.
Yeah, yeah,
But more than anything else, you're just gonna walk out being amazed by the visuals and just the dedication into doing a faithful enough adaptation of an anime. I think that is what a lot of fans is gonna take out of this. But for me, not really being familiar with it, with the source material, I felt they could have worked, really could have done more work on the script itself, not just kind of leave things, just out there. And of course, with the sequel hint at the end and all that kind of stuff. Like, yes, I praise the ambition. I always praise ambitious films, but you kind of had to know how far you go with it there. So don't just drop a sequel hint on this unless you know for sure that this movie going to make a ton of money in the box office. But personally, I would love to see a sequel for this because I just love the world of Alita. I want to see how far this story could go. You know what I mean? And I
right,
personally want to see Rodriguez and Cameron make more movies out of this. But I
right.
fear that might not be the case because,
Yeah,
like, for what I've
it's
heard,
not.
this movie is geared up to be a flop. But I don't know, just
Yeah,
so unfortunate
unfortunately.
though. But I really want to see more filmmakers go, really
Yeah,
try to adapt films, make adaptations of anime. So I would say
yeah,
this is a step in the right direction, though. But I don't want this to be the end. You know what I mean? I really want to see more attempts at it. But just be ever mindful of the source or of the franchises that they want to adapt. That's all I have to say, man.
right. That is pretty much it. I mean, all of us is not Travis Knight where we could just make money, and have things lose and then you get another movie done, right? You had to, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
boy, yeah, boy.